From the flight deck of the Battlestar Galactica, it's the IGN Digigods. So please welcome two men who are absolutely not Cylons whatsoever, Wade Major and Mark Kaiser.
What an incredibly prescient opening. Bob, who knew that we'd be talking Battlestar Galactica today? Who was that?
Stuart Moncur.
Ah, yes. Good silent impression, Bob. Now, Mark, first of all, we should say we've been off for a couple of weeks.
We have.
Yes, and we were only supposed to be off for 1 week. That was the week of Christmas when IGN shuts down every year. But we had to cancel the week before that as well because Los Angeles literally floated away.
It rained, man. It really did. You know, what's funny about Los Angeles is that people think that Los Angeles is sunny all the time. In fact, there was a song in the 70s, "It never rains in Southern California."
Yeah,
well,
fat chance.
In Southern California, here's the thing. I'm not saying it's not great weather most of the time, but here's what we have. We have rains.
Yeah.
And by the way, it rains probably 10 times a year in Los Angeles, but it can really rain.
Oh, yeah. When you
And
get
the
an El
rains-
Nino going.
And the rains bring in mudslides.
Yeah.
And we have earthquakes.
And fires.
And fires.
Yeah.
It smells like hot chocolate. Could you smell something?
Right now?
Yeah, seriously.
Hot chocolate?
It smells like hot chocolate.
You
can't smell that?
No, you got a little holiday residue in the nose there.
Either that or I'm having a heart attack.
You went to a pretty swinging New Year's Eve party, too, didn't you?
I went to Charles de Lazarica's New Year's Eve party.
Which I could not make it to, but how was it?
Charles, as you know, is the premier DVD extras producer in Hollywood.
Yes, he is.
And he's got a beautiful home in Hollywood to show for it, and he's doing great. And he's cranking out DVD stuff while also doing his own side projects, which we're really, really excited for him about.
That's awesome.
And you know what? Good. Although I heard that after I left, see, I went early because I had another party to go to. And I was told by Charles that after I left, things got really, really interesting.
Oh, really?
I really wish I would have stayed because it was a swinging party.
Wow.
But I had to go to another party.
Well.
Because I'm cool, Wade. How many parties did you go to?
That was another swinging party you went to after that, wasn't it?
I went to Kevin Pollak's New Year's Eve party. Kevin Pollak is host of the Kevin Pollak Chat Show, which is a great talk show. And it's at kevinpollakchatshow.com, I think.
Something like that.
And
You're a mover and a shaker.
I move and I shake. And I went to his he's got a beautiful new home, and I went to his New Year's Eve party. A really fun party. He's a great host. And so I wound up having a really, really nice New Year's Eve. Sometimes I don't do anything for New Year's Eve.
I ate pizza.
No, here's what happens on New Year's Eve. This is what happens. I get invited to nothing, right? And then I pretend like it's okay that I got invited to nothing because I really don't feel like doing anything, right? So I'm okay with it because I don't feel like doing much. And then at about 3 o'clock on New Year's Eve, I have nothing to do because I courted nothing, and I feel like an idiot. And I wind up staying home and doing nothing.
Awesome.
But this year, I went to two great parties. Charlie de Lazarica and Kevin Pollak. Wade, what are you holding in your left hand?
I am holding a movie from Vanguard, which we need to talk about, because it's important. This movie is called Pinprick. Mark, why is this movie important to talk about?
Because we did the audio commentary.
Yes, that's right. We sure did. And for that reason, we are going to review this right now, and we're going to say that writer-director Daniel Young is a genius, and that the commentary is just
gold.
Is gold. Absolute gold.
That's gold.
No, this is run out and grab this. Really, we've done a number of commentaries for Vanguard, and as it happens, we're going to be recording another one this week. But Pinprick is a really, really sharp little film, and really one of the more enjoyable commentaries I think that we've done.
Well, it was enjoyable because I did most of the talking.
Yes, there you go.
Aww.
No, it's actually quite a cool little thrillery confection. And
you know what? Here's the thing. It's a good little movie. Look, we don't have to. We pretty much get to choose. The film that we want to do commentary for.
Yeah.
And we choose the film that we like the best.
Yeah.
Not that the other films aren't good too, but we choose the film we think we can contribute the most to in any given month of Vanguard releases.
Yes.
And this month, it was Pinprick.
Yep.
So
absolutely.
that means we like it. Otherwise, you would not have done that audio commentary.
You know what? Look, a lot of these really sharp little ideas, these clever little these clever little scripts. They just sometimes the filmmakers these days, they get sick and tired of sitting around and waiting for the machine to eventually catch up with them. And because the materials are so inexpensive now, you can get a camera, you can get a sound package, and if you live in the East Coast, you can you can do this without ever having to go to New York or come to L.A. And some of these guys just say, why not? I'm never going to get it into 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 theaters. It's probably going to go straight to DVD, but at least I'll do it my way. And a movie like Pinprick really is a testimony to that. So bravo, Daniel Young, and we were very proud to do a commentary for this.
Yep. So check it out. Rent it. Let us know what you think. By the way, we're very serious on these commentaries. We are not the wacky, crazy, wild and crazy guys.
No. We actually wax philosophical.
Yes, we have to have respect for the filmmakers, Wade.
That's right. Well, I also want to make mention of a little thing here because we got a giveaway this week.
What?
Yes, we do. The people at Anchor Bay were very nice to provide us with a DVD to be given away for And Soon the Darkness. This will go to whoever can give us the most creative New Year limerick.
Oh, my God.
So send us a limerick. Put darkness in the subject. And just send us a limerick about 2011.
Why are you going to make people work for a DVD of a film they've never heard of?
Because it's worth checking out. No, people have... Look, it's got Odette Yustman in it. You remember Odette Yustman?
Oh, Odette Yustman?
Yes, you loved her in...
Delicious.
Yes, she is. But you also loved her in the soup movie with where she pours soup on...
You Again.
You Again.
Well, because I saw her in this...
We railed on that movie.
I saw her in this horrible David Goyer-directed horror films that I can't remember the name of it. And that's where I first saw her.
Yeah.
Now, I'm under the impression she's getting married.
Is she?
I believe
she's
so.
Also, well, she's a regular now on, or for as long as it takes until they kill her off or something, on Brothers and Sisters, Sunday evenings.
Really?
And she's very good on it. So I'm...
now that's interesting because she should be cultivating a movie career.
She should be, but she's actually quite good on the show. It's nice to see her on the show.
Now, by the way...
do something that's not terrible.
And Soon the Darkness, you get Carl Urban, who played Bones in the Star Trek film.
Yes, he did.
You loved JJ's Star Trek film.
Not really, but I like him. I mean, he was one of the better guys in that film. He did a really good impersonation of a young McCoy.
Yes, and they finally told you how he got the nickname Bones.
Yeah, which is just some junk they made up for this movie.
Correct.
Yeah. No, anyway, this is about a couple of women who go to Argentina for just a nice getaway. And of course, as you know from any movie, anyone who goes anywhere for a vacation does not have a nice vacation. Things just go horribly, horribly, horribly wrong. And I won't say this is a little bit like Deliverance, but you know what? It gets into kind of Deliverance territory, and I actually thought it was pretty sharp. It's available on DVD and Blu-ray. The Blu-ray is very, very well done for a direct-to-DVD story, but a direct-to-DVD title. But we got the DVD here, and we're going to be giving this away. So send us a limerick about 2011. Can't be that hard. Limericks are limericks.
Wait, so you will judge?
Yeah.
You will judge the best limerick.
Well, I'll let you judge the best limerick.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So send us your limericks. Send us your limericks, and we will pick the most enjoyable one, the most creative one. We'll read it on the show, and then we will send you And Soon the Darkness. Just get those limericks into us before January 6th. So get them, 7th. Get them into us before the 7th. Anytime right up through the 6th. Once the clock strikes midnight and it's January 7th, we won't take any more submissions. So we're looking for those. Put darkness in the subject line. Darkness and a limerick about 2011. And what to expect. Could be movies, could be anything. Could be, pork futures. I don't care.
You know what? This is your rodeo. I have no idea. You just pulled it out of your butt. Let's write a limerick.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, why not?
I had no idea that was about to happen.
So, TV, movies, compilations.
Let's do some movies. Come on, let's movie it up. It's the first week of the year. Yeah, I didn't see this. I didn't even see this. You talk about it.
Oh, I thought you saw this.
No.
Did you not? Okay.
I did not.
Well, there we go. This is a horrendous movie. And really, honestly?
Why would I see that?
I don't know. It's Devil. It's about the devil in an elevator. Wow, that's funny. Well, here's the thing. Devil is produced by M. Night Shyamalan, who actually conceived the story. And that should tell you right there that there's a problem with this. It's actually M. Night Shyamalan is like, he wants to be Rod Serling. Did you watch any Twilight Zones on
Oh, yes, I did. Oh, yes, I did.
Even if you have them on DVD or Blu-ray, it doesn't matter. It's the surprise. It's like, what's coming next? Oh, look, there. It's
they
that one.
did. I actually got a good batch.
Two was up.
That's what I was watching. Two, To Serve Man.
Yeah.
I Sing the Body Electric.
Yeah.
They had the Shatner, 20,000 Feet.
Yeah.
They had the Telly Savalas Talking Tina doll.
Oh, so good.
And the
I'm talking Tina, and I don't like you.
And the one I haven't seen for a while, which is the one where Cliff Robertson plays the Western guy who goes over the ridge, and all of a sudden he's in 1960s America.
It's pretty great.
Oh, the Twilight Zone.
Well, anyway, M. Night Shyamalan is no Rod Serling. So he thinks up all these kind of Twilight Zone-y plots, all these kind of Night Gallery-esque plots, and they never really pan out. But I will say this is better than Last Airbender by a long shot.
Everything. My last bowel movement was better than the Last Airbender.
You got 5 people trapped in an elevator, and one of them's the devil. There you go. Where's Waldo? It is. It's not as good as you would expect that it should be from that kind of a setup. But the guy who directed it, John Eric Dowdle, who really should change his name because Dowdle is not a name that's going to win an Oscar.
Let's just say that his wife will be keeping her maiden name.
Yes, absolutely. He takes an otherwise very pedestrian script and does really the best that he can with it. And he'll be doing better work in the future, I guarantee you. The thing is real sharp on Blu-ray. It's got all this beady live pocket blue junk and a whole lot of extras that are actually a little bit better than the movie in some respects. Really cool featurettes that are in high def as well. So I would recommend this movie definitely on Blu-ray if you're going to watch it at all. But otherwise, it is perfectly serviceable for a rental. Might even want to put that on your Halloween list.
Look at that. Now, that film there, I actually saw them shooting that film.
Did you really?
You know, I was in Washington Square Park in New York, and they were shooting a movie, and I said, God, what is that movie that they're shooting? And they said, oh, it's the new Step Up film. And I ran in the other direction.
Well,
now Step Up 3D. Here's the thing with Step Up 3D. It's a terrible movie, but the dancing is great. It really is. You know what? I wish they could just take the plot away, take the acting away. These horrible actors, but the dancing is fantastic. It really is.
And that's all there is, though.
That's all there is to it. That's the only thing to recommend from this film. So this is Step Up 3. This is a 2-disc set. The Blu-ray and the DVD are both here. There's some deleted scenes, and there's a couple of featurettes on it, which are nothing to write home about. The film is in 3D.
Meaningless.
And so anyway, Step Up 3D. Step Up 3, I don't...
There's
I don't get it.
There's an unwritten rule that says that any movie that is the third in a series must be in 3D so that you can do the 3D gizmo gimmick thing. Like Jaws 3D started that.
Ooh, Jaws 3D.
Remember that? What a mess that was.
Yeah, that's true. I remember Birth of a Nation 3. Birth of a Nation 3D.
Yeah.
Remember that?
That was great.
It was all like,
I nearly got my eye poked out by one of those hats.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Remember he tips the pointy hat into the camera and it came right at you? Wow.
Yeah, that was good times.
Good times.
You were a fan of that more than I was, I think, too.
I was okay with Despicable Me. I think that it is not as good as Megamind, and it is not as good as Toy Story 3.
But they made it relatively inexpensively, and it has made a ton of money.
It has made a ton of money. This is pretty much. I'm going to go and say this is one of the. This has got to be one of the top grossing, if not the top grossing, Universal
animated film.
Yeah. Don't you think?
Yeah.
I mean, DreamWorks has had a couple hits, Kung Fu Panda and the other thing.
Yeah. No, Universal. Well, Fox's animation division pretty much has only Ice Age, and this has kind of put Universal on the map. They've done okay with this.
They did. This is Steve Carell plays the villain Gru, and of course, now the story of this film is very similar to the story of Megamind. And I much prefer Megamind over this, but. This is still cute. Steve Carell, he plays the world's greatest villain, and he meets these 3 orphan girls, and of course they turn him around and make him into a nice guy. But it's cute. Kids will like it. Adults will not really be bored. This is a 3-disc set. Now, as you know, it used to be a 3-disc set meant 1 disc of the movie
yes.
and 2 discs worth of like extras goodness.
Yeah. No,
Not that way anymore.
Not anymore, no.
3 discs means one is the DVD, one is the Blu-ray, and one is a digital copy.
Who cares?
So to say it's a 3-disc set is really disingenuous.
Deceptive. Yes, it
is
is
deceptive.
But lots of goodies on that.
But the movie's not bad.
Yeah, it's okay. I like the Minions. The Minions made me laugh.
They're cute.
They are cute, but
They look like little yellow pellets.
what I like on here is that you get these they're made special shorts for the Blu-ray with the Minions, so you get more Minion.
I have to
It's
tell you
kind
though,
of like the penguins in Madagascar, which are the only good things about that movie.
well, you know what? The Pixar shorts are always very clever.
Yes, they are.
When you see the Pixar movies projected, you're
Yeah.
like, oh, what's the short going to be? It's always really good.
Yeah, always. Night and Day this last year was really good on the head of Toy Story 3.
I was very surprised. That was kind of an avant-garde little move.
Really, it felt like something that would have been done in the late '60s, didn't it? It had kind of an Art Deco-y
And I loved
vibe to it. It was terrific. We get another terrific Kino Blu-ray release this week of a movie classic, the completely restored Technicolor Douglas Fairbanks film, The Black Pirate. Kino has released a deluxe edition of this amazing, astonishing 1926 silent classic. And it is really great. I mean, this was originally 2-strip Technicolor, and before they added that 3rd strip. And so, if you've ever seen this in color previously, it was probably badly faded and not really done right. Because 2-strip Technicolor has a completely different vibe to it from 3-strip, obviously. And this is wonderful. This is just amazing. I mean, it is rich. And it almost looks more... When 3-strip came in, it almost looked too good. The reds were really red, and the blues were really blue, and the greens were really green.
That was the weird thing about Technicolor.
And it just felt just oversaturated. It just everything was unrealistically vibrant, which is great in movies like The Wizard of Oz because that's the whole point. It's somewhere else. But this almost feels like a more recent modern film. The way the colors are muted and very natural, and the location photography is just beautifully captured. You got to just check this out. This is really, really great. A lot of terrific extras on here, in addition to just the movie itself, which is terrific fun. You get the original 1926 score by Mortimer Wilson. Completely new Robert Israel recording of it. An organ score by Lee Irwin, which is fine. It's a little more tepid. Rudy Belmer, who does heaps of these commentaries. He's a great film historian, especially on the silence. A pleasure to listen to. Does the audio commentary. And you get a talkie version of it, which I don't necessarily recommend because it's got a narration by Douglas Fairbanks Jr., which is so-so. No intertitles. It's kind of not the way the film was meant to be seen. And then a bunch of outtakes and a little bit of thing from the Library of Congress, which has declared this one of their classics. They pick a few films every year, and some of them are perplexing, but this is pretty great. So highly, highly recommended for all cinephiles and anybody who wants to see a great movie. Salt was the Angelina Jolie film that was originally supposed to be a Tom Cruise film. And I actually sort of kind of liked it, even though it's a stupid plot that we've seen a million times before. Philip Noyce kind of returns to blockbuster studio filmmaking with this. He had done all of those Tom Clancy films with Harrison Ford, and then he went back to Australia and made 2 very cool films back-to-back, Rabbit Proof Fence and... I
love Rabbit Proof Fence.
Rabbit Proof Fence
so
is great.
Good.
Yeah, and Michael Caine and Brendan Fraser in The Quiet American.
Yes. And
he made those back to back. You know that. He edited those 2 films simultaneously in adjacent editing rooms. I don't know how you do that. I don't know how a filmmaker gets his head into 2 good movies simultaneously. That's incredible. Anyway.
Well, it's not something you can do because
No, because I'm kind of remedial that way. But no, Noyce is just amazing. But he obviously said, hey, all these guys are making, all these young kids are coming up making these big action films. I better go show them how it's done. And he really does, because like the first 40 minutes of this film, more or less, is a chase sequence, the likes of which will blow your mind. It's really great. After that, it gets incredibly silly, and you know exactly where it's going. But it's from a technical standpoint fun to watch, and certainly Angelina Jolie steps into a role originally written for Tom Cruise and does a bang-up job. It is, of course, about a spy who may or may not be a Russian infiltrator, and it's kind of post-Cold War crazy Russians, so they're not quite the same as the old KGB Russians, but it's it's got its moments.
I liked this movie a lot. I really did. I thought it was kind of old school 80s filmmaking.
Yeah,
there was something about it that didn't seem that super slick Michael Bay BS that we've come to equate with big budget studio action filmmaking. There was something a little old school about it. I liked it.
3 cuts on here, by the way. There are a couple of extended cuts.
Why stop at 3?
Yeah, it's not really. I mean, there's stuff that is new, but it's not really that big of a deal. The theatrical cuts all you really need, and then tons and tons and tons of featurettes that are all really cool. So,
says you,
Mark. I love Emma Stone, but I'm ashamed to admit I didn't see Easy A.
You know, Wade. Let me say that
I just missed it.
You did. Well, let me fill you in.
Fill me in.
Easy A was, you know what, when you really look at it, when you look at all the films that came out, and I know this is going out on a limb, gods at digigods.com, may I say that Easy A was the biggest, most pleasant surprise of the year. In fact, I didn't even see this movie when it screened for critics because I had no interest. So I wound up seeing it with a friend who paid for my ticket because I didn't want to see it. I would have seen the screening if I wanted to see it, so I begrudgingly went. And you know what?
How about that?
It is just terrific.
Cool.
It is a terrific little surprise. Emma Stone basically plays a high school student who somehow uses the sort of the rumor mill in her high school to advance her social standing within the school. And it moves fast. It's very clever. It's a star-making performance from her. It's got a great cast, including Stanley Tucci and Lisa Kudrow and Thomas Hayden Church. Patricia Clarkson's also in it. And you know what? It's very funny. It's got a whip-smart script. It's directed with a lot of flair by Will Gluck, whatever his name is. And the DVD, or the Blu-ray, includes a gag reel, Emma Stone's audition footage, and a commentary with Will Gluck and Emma Stone, and that's kind of fun. And there's some Blu-ray exclusives, too. You don't need to see this on Blu-ray because it's not like it's a cinematographer showcase, although it is creatively shot. A lot of the blocking, a lot of the effects are kind of fun. But you don't need to see it on Blu-ray unless you want to see the Blu-ray exclusive features, including a making of and a little featurette about the movies of the 80s, which somehow found its way on this DVD. But anyway, a big surprise. Easy A. I liked it a lot.
Awesome. Well, as most everybody knows, I am a big fan of Hong Kong films, and I love Jackie Chan movies in particular, although I have to say his American films pale by comparison. That said, Rush Hour with Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker is finally out on Blu-ray, and it's an okay Blu-ray. They could have done a better job. They kind of spat this one out to try and get it out for the holidays, and the movie is still fun. I don't think an up-converted DVD is going to be that significantly less impressive. Tons of special features here that you've probably already seen or heard. The Brett Ratner commentary, extra scenes, all that featurette stuff, and that horrible Brett Ratner short film, Whatever Happened to Mason Reese, which is just not very good. Music videos and things of the sort. There's also a really cool commentary on the isolated score with Lalo Schifrin, who was only hired. And that's the one thing I will say about Brett Ratner. It was smart to hire Lalo Schifrin because he wanted to have some linkage to Enter the Dragon. You know, he wanted to sort of tie in the sensibility of, connecting this movie to that movie. I get that. That's kind of a cool thing. That being said, I was on the set of Rush Hour 2 or 3. Which one was it? I can't remember.
7.
I think it was 2. I think it was 2 I was on the set of for a couple of days, and yeah, it was 2. And boy, that was interesting. I'll relay those stories another time. Anyway, Rush Hour on Blu-ray, and then also, this is what you got to get. But don't get rid of your Criterion anytime soon, because the Criterion has stuff on it that you'll never, ever be able to replicate. But Hard Boiled, John Woo's classic, is out from Dragon Dynasty on Blu-ray as well. And unfortunately, this has a Bay Logan commentary. But
that's unusual.
Yeah, but it's the same Bay Logan commentary as on the DVD that Dragon Dynasty released. I would not recommend the Dragon Dynasty DVD. The Blu-ray, I do recommend, only because this is the only way you're going to be able to get this film here in Blu-ray unless you go to one of those Asian import sites and get the Blu-ray from Hong Kong. But even then, I'm not sure it's going to be a better transfer. That one's not particularly good, and this one's fine. It's adequate. It's not brilliant, but perfectly adequate. Better than the DVD. Worth checking out. All the same interview, all the features that you've had before, especially the interview with Terrence Chang, who I will say is a wonderful guy. Terrence Chang really is just a terrific producer and very, very smart man. And I've met him a couple of times, and he's always very, very shrewd. He really is. It's like there's something going on behind the eyes.
That's why he's rich and famous and produces great movies.
I guess.
Because he's got it going on behind the eyes.
He's got it going on. What else you got there, Mark?
Oh, I have a film called The Matador. This was a couple years ago. This is directed by Richard Shepard, and this is kind of an okay little skewed, slightly twisted, kind of a buddy movie. Pierce Brosnan plays a hitman, and Greg Kinnear plays a salesman. They are the original odd couple. They meet up at a Mexican bar, and then 6 months later, the hitman comes knocking on the salesman's door, begging for help. And Pierce Brosnan sort of insinuates himself into Greg Kinnear's family. Hope Davis plays Kinnear's wife in the film. And, it's cute. It's cute. Richard Shepard had a couple of films that weren't that bad. He's really kind of doing TV now. The Matador was probably his best film. He did another film called The Hunting Party, which I thought was not as good as The Matador. The Hunting Party was with... What are you doing, Wade?
I'm just organizing things.
Got it. The Hunting Party was with Richard Gere and Terrence, What the Hell Happened to Me, Howard.
He's on Law and Order Los Angeles.
He is?
Yeah. He's a deputy DA.
It just didn't happen for him. That guy was just like the burning flame of the sun for like 8 seconds.
He blew it with Iron Man. I mean, he asked for so much money they replaced him with Don Cheadle.
Well,
he was a bigger star.
But I believe they wanted Don. I heard they wanted Don Cheadle originally.
Who knows? But he asked for too much money, which may have been just the opening they were asking for.
Well, that's the thing. It's like you don't like when you ask for a lot of money. Sometimes you just put that out there as the opening salvo, and you expect a counteroffer, and then you're like, okay, and then you close. But I think he really wanted all that money. Well, he didn't want to give it to him.
As long as we're talking about Hitman, we got a couple more to get into here. It's kind of a Hitman theme right now.
Wait a second. We have a giveaway. Tell everybody that pulled out of your butt giveaway criteria you came up with.
And soon the darkness.
With Bones and a delicious girl.
Amber Heard, Odette Yustman, and Carl Urban. This is kind of it's two girls in Argentina, kind of a Deliverance type thing. We're giving it away thanks to the beautiful people at Anchor Bay. And all you need to do is send us an email to gods@digigods.com, put darkness in the subject, and give us a really cool limerick for 2011, which we'll read on the show, and get it to us by the 7th. Not on the 7th. When the clock changes from January 6th to the 7th, that's when we want it.
Now, by the way, I've been told that I will be judging the limericks.
Yes, you will. You'll judge the limericks, and then we'll give it away.
Now, here's the thing, though. I'm not saying that you should write the limerick to my taste. I'm not like Robert Parker.
No.
You know Robert Parker,
No,
the wine critic?
Yeah.
Where wine producers literally, they create wines just so Robert Parker will like them. They know what Robert Parker likes in a wine, and they make that wine just so Robert Parker will drink it, like it, and give it a high score. I'm not saying you should write a limerick that includes, the New York Mets or...
Well, no. Don't do that. Don't do that. Well, speaking of hitmen, we got a thing here. We got a double feature of El Mariachi and Desperado, the Robert Rodriguez films. And then we have the third one in the series, Once Upon a Time in Mexico, with Johnny Depp and Antonio Banderas, of course, who was in Desperado. But none of them were in El Mariachi because he had about $1.50 to make El Mariachi. But the complete trilogy is available on Blu-ray. Again, the first two films on one, and then Once Upon a Time in Mexico on the second.
I like those films. I do.
Look, here's the thing.
You hate Robert Rodriguez.
Well, we both hate him. Admit it. No, here's the thing. El Mariachi is a film that I respect on a certain level. It was made for next to nothing, and they made it completely without sound. And then it got picked up, and they continued to claim that it was still the little $6,000 film or whatever. Well, it wasn't. It was a $6,000 film with about $1 million worth of sweetening that went into it in terms of re-editing and color timing and music and so forth. So it got sweetened significantly by the time El Mariachi was released. But It's still a noble film. It's still very impressive. And look, it launched his career for $6,000. Desperado, it's kind of a wannabe John Woo film. I like parts of it. I think other parts of it are really kind of stupid. But you know what? It's okay. The one I really hate is Once Upon a Time in Mexico. I just think it's horrible. I think Johnny Depp is embarrassing. I think it's
but Johnny Depp has no eyes.
Yeah, I know. It's just dreadful. And there are some very embarrassing performances in here. Mickey Rourke is in here. He's not good. Danny Trejo basically plays the same thing he's always played. Enrique Iglesias shows up for some reason but doesn't sing. And Willem Dafoe is horrible. Ruben Blades was okay. So anyway, lots of names, and Salma Hayek is always fun. I interviewed her once. She was lovely, much brighter than you would think. You always assume beautiful women are just kind of ditzes. She's really smart, like incredibly smart. Anyway, there's also a thing on here, the Blu-ray cutting room. Now, there are lots of stupid Blu-ray extras on here, and Movie Q and Movie IQ is one of the worst ever conceived. But this thing on Once Upon a Time in Mexico, this cutting room thing, is the stupidest thing ever. It's the dumbest thing in the world. The idea is that you're supposed to like cut your own action sequence and then share it via BD Live. I swear, who is going to do that?
Zero.
Nobody's going to do that.
Nobody.
And is anybody going to buy it because you get to do that?
And by the way, I work at a major entertainment cable network, right? And on our website, we solicit videos.
Yep, and no one ever supplies it.
Zero.
Yeah.
Not one.
No.
Not two. Zero. Nobody has ever uploaded a video to the website for my gigantic, enormous, one of the biggest cable networks in the world.
Not amazing.
We solicit videos for our website, record it. You know, we give you the subject matter, the question to answer, whatever it is. Answer it, record yourself on your flip, on your iPhone, whatever, email it to us. Nobody.
You know, a year or so after the death of Michelangelo Antonioni, 2 Antonioni films were released.
That
he
true.
did not make.
What?
One of them was Somewhere, the Sofia Coppola film, which we're going to talk about again in just a moment.
See, I don't think Sofia Coppola was ripping off Antonioni. I think Sofia Coppola was ripping off Sofia Coppola.
Ripping off Antonioni. Well, see, I really like Somewhere. I just think she's very influenced by Antonioni. And I think Somewhere is a really good little Antonioni-esque film. I really do.
You know what? I think she's very influenced by her father, specifically the upbringing. Because when you look at her movies, you can tell those are films that can only be made by somebody who grew up that way, knows about that level of fame and isolation,
absolutely,
and loneliness.
Absolutely.
So I feel that.
Well, we'll get to that in a moment. But the other Antonioni film, which is actually almost like a remake of The Passenger in many respects, was The American.
Which I liked a lot.
Which I liked a lot as well. But they marketed it like it was the Clooney supremacy, and people hated it. I know people who went to see it and they thought, "What the hell is that?" It's like it's a guy who's building a gun for 2 hours with no action.
Well,
because the marketing was totally deceptive.
It was. Here's the quandary. Okay, you're the studio, right? You're the studio.
You greenlit the thing. You have to own it.
You're the studio. You've just been handed a 2-hour film about a guy who builds a gun. Now, what you can do is you can sell that movie, and probably nobody will see it. Or you can sell it as a thriller, make what you can in the first weekend, then by the time word of mouth spreads that the movie's about a guy who builds a gun for 2 hours, you've already made your first weekend money, and you can just worry about the DVD.
You got to be honest. You got to own it. You got to tell people it's an art film with George Clooney, and he's a hit man who doesn't really perform any hits. It's meditative. It's very interior. It's got some great performances, and it's very much psychological. So I thought it was a terrific film. Beautifully, beautifully directed by Anton Corbijn, who I think is a really first-rate director. I don't know if he'll get any more studio gigs after this, but I think he's a first-rate director. You get some deleted scenes and featurette, and then a Corbijn commentary, which is terrific. I say get this only on Blu-ray, the Blu-ray and digital copy combo, not the DVD, because it's a gorgeously photographed film, and in the Blu-ray it just pops in a fabulous way. Focus did a great job on this. I credit the Focus people probably more than Universal people, because Universal's Blu-rays sometimes disappoint me, but this one really, really nice. Very nice. Bunch of BD Live and Pocket Blue stuff that I just don't even bother with anymore, but really very, very sharp. George Clooney, terrific. And did he look out for this, man? He worked out.
Oh, yeah.
The guy,
He's like 50 years old.
yeah, but he's got the body working. It's pretty great. Anyway, moving on.
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
you just grabbed the spaghetti. Should we talk about the spaghetti? Why we have
I thought you
a pack
told
of
me.
spaghetti?
I thought you told me we couldn't talk about this spaghetti.
Well, we can talk about the spaghetti.
All right.
Yeah, we can talk about the spaghetti before we move on to some other movies. But I saw that you grabbed it, so we might as well. We were sent some spaghetti this week.
Can I say before we talk about the spaghetti? Can I say that Garfield is the stupidest cat comic ever? It's not funny. Garfield does not resemble a cat in any way, shape, or form. I'm sorry. Cats don't like lasagna. Cats don't kick dogs off tables. There's nothing this cat. I don't even know. He doesn't have to be a cat. Why be a dog? Be a rabbit. Be a hamster. It doesn't matter.
We're going to get back to movies again in a second, but Mark grabbed the spaghetti, so we're going to talk about the Garfield show. All you need is love, and then in parentheses, and pasta.
Yeah, because
See,
we all know
is-
that cats like pasta, don't they?
This is the these are episodes of the Garfield show that aren't particularly funny.
I just don't get it.
Mother Garfield desperately seeking Pookie.
So
meet
why
the
they send
parents,
us? Okay, no one
pet
cares about
matchers,
that. Yeah, whatever.
yeah.
So who sent us the spaghetti?
Well, the wonderful people at Vivendi, because since all you need is pasta or love and pasta, they figured, well, we'll send them some pasta with a Garfield sticker on it.
That's really what it is. This is. Here's the thing.
It's not even pasta. It's not even Garfield brand pasta.
No, this is pasta that they bought at the store, probably the cheapest pasta in the world, and they just stuck a sticker on it saying Garfield on DVD January 4th.
And that way they hope that we will say nice things about it.
And they're wrong. Garfield is stupid. It's just I don't like the strip. I don't like the show. I don't like the movie. I don't get it.
It's too funny. But they sent us pasta.
Yes, you know what? And by the way, I wanted to give this pasta away, but you wouldn't let me.
Well,
I just want to say, folks, I wanted to feed you. I didn't just want to entertain you. I wanted to feed you.
it's not even it's a sticker. It's regular pasta. They could buy it at the store.
Yeah, but it's pasta. But it doesn't have a Garfield sticker. The Blu-ray of the 1991 Ron Howard film Backdraft is available. This has been totally remastered. It's a good-looking movie. It's beautifully shot. Some of the fire effects, the way they were able to shoot the fire, was very unique for the time. This is 20 years ago. My God. And so it's good. It's a good movie. It's with Kurt Russell, William Baldwin, Scott Glenn, De Niro's in it, Donald Sutherland's in it, and it's a good movie about two brothers who are firefighters, and they have like a sibling rivalry thing going. And a lot of the bonus features here, some of them were on the original DVD. There's also some new stuff, and it's good. I like Backdraft. It's a good movie.
I think it's basically Top Gun with firefighters, but it's adequate. It's one of Ron Howard's less objectionable formula programmers.
Well, also Ron Howard's back in the news now because he has a new film coming out next week.
His first ever January movie. Congratulations, Ron Howard.
You've now made a movie so bad it needs to be released in January.
I think they're releasing it in January. It was always slated for January, but that whole gay comment thing really kind of tanked their marketing. So, anyway, we were talking about Sofia Coppola and Somewhere, which I hope continues to do well. It is kind of a Lost in Translation sequel of sorts. And Lost in Translation, her Oscar-winning film with Bill Murray and Scarlett Johansson, which really kind of nudged Scarlett Johansson into leading lady status, is now on Blu-ray. And I just love this film. The reason they're obviously putting this out is to promote Somewhere, and it includes a preview of Somewhere, so they're obviously making every effort to piggyback the one film on the other. Somewhere I'm not going to say one is better than the other. Somewhere is a much more interior and meditative film, which is saying something because this is already pretty interior and meditative. But this is also a funnier film. There's not a lot of humor in Somewhere, and there's a lot of humor in this. Bill Murray just really rips it up. And yet not in that hysterical way. It's just the fish out of water experience in Japan for that aging actor, and Scarlett Johansson is the fellow American wife of a photographer, neglected wife of a photographer, who they just happen to connect. They're Americans in a foreign land, and it is a beautiful, wonderful, sweet Antonioni-esque film, and I could not love this film anymore. This was my favorite film of the year, and it is long overdue on Blu-ray, and go out, buy it right now.
Give me.
My favorite film of the year. Painful person.
I do love that movie.
And then a movie that I'm not that fond of is The Last Exorcism. But I got to say, Eli Roth threw his name on this. Strictly a presentation credit. And that alone, I think, gave it a nudge. And this thing maybe cost $1.50, and it made a ton of money in 2 weeks, and that was it. It was done. But you know what? It made money. Probably more profitable than most studio blockbusters. This has gazillions of extras on it. This is a Blu-ray DVD digital copy combo set. Gazillions of extras. Everything from a teaser trailer they had at the Cannes Film Festival, actors' audition footage, featurettes, audio commentaries galore. It's just, I mean, truly, like 3 audio commentaries. There's no end to it. So here's the thing. The movie itself really only works if you accept... It's a weird kind of mock documentary because I'm trying to figure out how to even put this without giving too much away. The idea here is that you've got a guy who he's kind of a Marjoe Gortner figure, right? He's a preacher, and he has done these phony exorcisms for years, and now for these documentarians, he's going to kind of reveal the tricks of the trade, right? He's going to show them exactly what he does to sort of fake these exorcisms. And he goes and he answers one of the letters, which is some guy out in the middle of the bayou somewhere he thinks his daughter is possessed. And so the guy goes out and he says, look, this is, the girl's probably just, sick or something or whatever. And of course, things don't quite go as planned. Everything goes a little bit haywire. The thing is, the movie goes from being a documentary to almost unedited, raw found footage, like in that Cloverfield way at a certain point. And it crosses the line in a very disingenuous way, and then it just goes full-on into Rosemary's Baby territory at the end, and it's completely ridiculous. And you completely see it coming. But
it goes full Monty? It goes full retard?
It goes full Rosemary.
It goes full retard?
It goes full Rosemary. The only thing that was missing was Shelley Winters as the evil satanic priestess.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's the only thing it needed. But anyway, look, it made its money, and this genre isn't particularly demanding anyway. So that's on Blu-ray. Perfectly acceptable, but I'm sure the DVD is acceptable as well. And going from exorcism to...
I didn't see this.
I know you didn't. I didn't intend for you to talk to that one. This is My Dog Skip. I have a theory about Frankie Muniz, by the way, Mark.
What is that?
Frankie Muniz, and I once actually sent an email to some friends with pictures to prove the point. Frankie Muniz has the same, like if you were to take David Cassidy at 30 years old and put his head on a 12-year-old kid, it would be Frankie Muniz. It is creepy how much Frankie Muniz looks like a 30-year-old David Cassidy. Terrifying.
Gods at Digigods.com.
Thank you. Diane Lane and Kevin Bacon are just strapping in this. Frankie Muniz is annoying. Luke Wilson is kind of nice. But the star of this movie is the dog. My Dog Skip has become kind of a family classic, and it is now on Blu-ray. I can't say that I'm blown away by the Blu-ray. Warner Brothers normally does better work than this. I think this was just shot out there for Christmas. A couple of audio commentaries, including one with Frankie Muniz and the other with the director, Jay Russell. It's fine. But if you have it on DVD, don't necessarily upgrade. I'm sure something better and a bigger special edition will come out at some point in the future. But they did not exactly put an awful lot of work into this one. And then before Mark gets into this friggin' internet nightmare, Howl is out on Blu-ray. Did Howl even get a theatrical release?
Barely.
It was like
vaguely.
a week and a half.
And it was like a festival thing. People were talking about it at various festivals, and in the end, you know what? I mean, look, who's going to see this movie?
Well, I don't know. It's the better performance by an actor that I thoroughly dislike, which is James Franco. James Franco plays Allen Ginsberg and does a really good job of it. This is a Blu-ray that they sent us from Oscilloscope, who actually has done a really sharp Blu-ray here. And there are some, this is basically it's not the life of Allen Ginsberg. It is an episode from the life of Allen Ginsberg that is somewhat scandalous and noteworthy. And it's if you don't know the history, you might want to take a look at the film. But James Franco really does a very believable, credible Allen Ginsberg, as opposed to 127 Hours, where I think it's an unbelievably overrated performance. Anyway, you get the Blu-ray and the DVD here, but get this for the Blu-ray because it really is a very well-shot film, beautifully mastered by Oscilloscope, and terrific supporting cast here. I mean, really, really great cast. Jeff Daniels is terrific. John Hamm, so good. That guy is so underrated as an actor. David Strathairn is very, very good. Bob Balaban, Treat Williams, really just terrific. So, Mary Louise Parker, by the way, pops up in this too. So check that out. Howl in the usual oscilloscope eco packaging, even on Blu-ray. Mark?
Hi, Wade.
Tell me about internet dating.
Oh, I know all about that. Catfish is the controversial documentary. Hint, hint, wink, wink, not, not.
See, that debate's still going on.
Yeah, you know what? Well, people are stupid.
Is it or is it not?
Whatever. You know what? Stop
Is it Memorex?
Just it's Memorex. Just stop it, please, folks. Two filmmakers wound up following one of the filmmakers' brother, who had met somebody online, and they wind up finding this girl, going to drive to meet her after she and the brother had communicated for over 6 months online. So they drive out to, wherever this girl lives, Michigan, whatever the hell it is.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens there cannot be said because it gives away all the surprise of this wink, wink documentary.
No. Okay.
I mean, you know what it is? It's just it's not that the film isn't effective. I think it's fine. But you know what? The movie is a product of its time, not because it involves internet dating, whatever. It's a product of its time because it shows how a couple guys with an idea and a camera and a little bit of money can make something unique, and they can get it out there into festivals and get some attention. That's really why it's a product of its time more than it's about internet dating. So in that sense, it's definitely it'll definitely keep you going.
Well,
It's pretty interesting. I just think that these guys pulled a fast one on everybody, and God love them for it. But this is not a documentary, and there's no reason to get the Blu-ray.
So you're saying it's just a big crazy hoax?
Indeed it is. Oh yeah, indeed it is.
All right.
But that's okay. Whatever, they did it. They got it. But what I'm curious about is, it's almost like the the Blair Witch Project.
Right.
All those guys have done nothing since then. They had their moment. They fooled everybody, and now they're dead. These guys could be the same way.
Joel Schumacher is still out there kicking up a storm. The guy just will not make the same film twice, which I really admire. And even when he makes a pile of crap studio film, and it's a total job for hire or some big budget thing like Phantom of the Opera, which I really liked a lot. I mean, I thought his Phantom of the Opera was terrific, although it was about 10 years too late. Then he'll go and he'll do some interesting little low budgety kind of indie thing like 12. Now 12 is a Fox film. It's not that low budget or that indie, but it's a bit of a risk. It's not entirely successful, but you look at it and you go, you know what, Joel, you're still mixing it up, and I respect that. It's got a very interesting cast that includes Emma Roberts and 50 Cent and Ellen Barkin, and it's based on a novel basically about the impact that this new drug, this kind of new super drug, has when it kind of feeds its way into the lives of a certain network of people. Not as good as it probably should have been, but certainly interesting and worth checking out. Good rental. I'd say rent it on DVD, not worth checking out on Blu-ray. It's not that good, but Emma Roberts, really, really good in it. The woman is a very underrated actress, and keep rocking it. She is got a future ahead of her, this Roberts girl. She's got good genes.
She does.
So shall we jump into some television right now?
We should. Wait, how much time do we have left in the show?
We've got about 10 minutes left.
Well, then,
little more.
Pick judiciously.
We'll pick judiciously. We'll just make a note that there's a horrible Yogi Bear movie out there right now in 3D you don't go see it. But you might want to rent a couple of these Yogi Bear DVDs. We got one, Yogi's Great Escape. This is from the Warner Archive Collection, which is available only online. You have to have them stamp this thing out for you, so go to warnerarchive.com and look for Yogi's Great Escape. This is actually an awful lot of fun. I really enjoy this. It's a feature-length film made, right after they finished the Yogi Bear series, 93 minutes in length. Actually, very, very fun. A lot of other famous Hanna-Barbera characters show up in this. And then Yogi Bear's All-Star Comedy Christmas Caper, which, of course, was sent to us after Christmas. That's smart. But if you still want to be watching Christmas specials, by all means, go check it out. And let's see here, Mark. What are we going to talk about? Hold on. Let's judiciously pull some stuff. You know what? My wife, discerning taste that she has, fine art film connoisseur, cannot get enough of Billy the Exterminator on A&E.
I've never heard of that.
You haven't?
No.
Billy the Exterminator is this goateed redneck with a mullet who goes around to people who have a problem with pests. They may be rodents, they may be insects, anything from termites to rats to squirrels, sometimes possums getting in the woodshed. And he has all kinds of strategies for basically ridding them of their pests. Now, if the pests have fur, he never kills them. He just figures out how to trap them and then let them loose in the wild again. Yeehaw! But if they're bugs, he will squash, burn, fry, roast, cook, and capture those bugs and do all kinds of nasty things to them. This is the most disgusting show I have ever seen in my life.
It's on A&E?
It's on A&E. My wife loves this show. Go figure. From Krzysztof Kieslowski to Billy the Exterminator. Anyway, it's got a new season going, and we got season 1 and 2 now out on DVD. And you know what? I guess there's some kind of sick fun to this thing, but it just really, this is the rednecks are taking over television. This is just white trash central. Man, is this just? It's deeply, deeply disturbing. The only one that I actually enjoyed, there's an episode where there's a like a beaver that's running amok, which is actually kind of funny. That's entertaining. The beaver made me laugh.
Sigh.
Oh, come on. You know you love it. You love the beaver.
Well, I don't love the beaver, but I do love the BBC High Definition Natural History Collection 2 featuring Life.
Ooh, that's good.
On Blu-ray.
Yeah, that's a good set.
Now, this is one of the first...
the photography on that is fabulous. That stuff is so, so beautifully done.
Well, this stuff is all great.
That's reference standard for your Blu-ray.
Oh, yeah. Well, look, if you're a nature if you're a nature lover, Yellowstone, Battle for Life, South Pacific, not the musical, Nature's Most Amazing Events, and Life, which was narrated by David Attenborough, all in a big Blu-ray set, all packaged up for Blu-ray goodness. And it's great. You know what? It's a bunch of nature footage on Blu-ray, shot in high def. That looks terrific. That's really all it is. I mean, these are all terrific documentaries, and it's good stuff. Obviously,
Swanky.
this is for the 50-year-old man plus in your family.
Awesome. Now, until Robert Downey shows up again in his other franchise as Sherlock Holmes, Iron Man and Sherlock Holmes, who would ever have cast the same actor as Iron Man and Sherlock Holmes?
I thought
what universe would that have ever happened?
I thought the Sherlock Holmes casting was so odd.
But it kind of works.
Yeah, it worked because we love Robert Downey Jr., but it just seems strange.
Well, even better than that, I think, is Season 1 of Sherlock, which is the new BBC series that has Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman as the... It's kind of the same idea. It's a young Holmes and Watson, but actually it works out better.
Benedict Cumberbatch. That guy is not from Boise, Idaho.
Isn't that the most incredibly British name in the world?
Cumberbatch.
Benedict Cumberbatch. No, he's really good. I mean, we've seen these guys in a lot of stuff. Martin Freeman is terrific. But this was shown here on Masterpiece, Season 1, now on Blu-ray, and it's worth it. It's worth it. This is a really well-shot show, very well-written, and a very nice kind of reinvention of it by some guys who used to write for Doctor Who. And it's really terrific. 3 episodes here. And you got to check that out. That's good. And if you want to go real old school on it, well, you know what else is out? Ian Richardson's Sherlock Holmes and the Hound of the Baskervilles. Now, the Hound of the Baskervilles has been done dozens of times. Well, maybe not dozens, maybe like 5 times. But this is actually really one of the better ones, I've got to say. This is Ian Richardson. You wouldn't normally think of necessarily as Sherlock Holmes, but he does a very, very good job. I won't say this is the best version of The Hound of the Baskervilles, but it is a worthy one, and that remains, for some reason, the most popular Holmes novel still, Hound of the Baskervilles, even though I prefer The Sign of the Four. But you can check that out. That's from BFS, so go and give that a look as well. And then, as long as we were making mention of Doctor Who, there is also Doctor Who Revenge of the Cybermen from the Tom Baker years, also now out on DVD from BBC. Real kind of just refreshingly cheesy. The Cybermen show up constantly on Doctor Who if you are a follower over any period of time. They are kind of like if Princess Leia had mated with the Tin Men, or with the Tin Man and the Wizard of Oz. This is what their offspring would have looked like.
Oh, I've already worn out that porn film in my VHS
there you
collection.
Go. So go check that out. Anything over there that you have under your thumbnail, Mark?
Oh, anything that I would like to maybe? Okay, you know what? I got a couple things here.
Oh, some music stuff.
Yes, Frank Zappa, An Evening with Frank Zappa, during which the torture never stops. That is the name of the DVD.
Rock
Frank
on.
Zappa, The Torture Never Stops. This has a bunch of his really cool songs. Frank Zappa was the coolest. Jumbo Go Away, Teenage Win, Black Napkins, Beauty Knows No Pain, Charlie's Enormous Mouth, Harder Than Your Husband, Bamboozled by Love, all sorts of great Frank Zappa songs. When I was actually overseas, there's a Frank Zappa statue in Prague, and this is like back in the 80s when you couldn't just take a picture and email it to people. I took a photo of it, took it home, and I was working on a talk show. Actually, this is in the early 90s. Working on a talk show, and I printed out the photo, and I presented it to Zappa's widow, who was a guest on the show that night. And she had only heard about the statue, but had never seen it, because, again, this is pre-internet. And it was a big thrill. It was a big thrill. I took the time to I took the photo when I went to the city just because I wanted to, but when I heard that Zappa's widow was booked on the show, I dug the photo out, had it blown up, had it mounted, presented to the widow. She was very appreciative, and it was a really cool little moment for me. Velvet Revolver, live in Houston. Velvet Revolver, this is from 2005 in Houston, Texas. This was in support of the album Contraband, which I actually have, which is to say that I downloaded for free. Oh, I didn't do that, did I? Yes, I did. And this is kind of a super group because it's made up of people from Guns N' Roses and Stone Temple Pilots, two bands that I love. And here you go, all these songs from that first Velvet Revolver album. On Blu-ray, we have a really special little number for you called Bee Gees in Our Time.
Yeah, baby. I know what I'm going to be watching tonight.
Well, this is a movie. This is all about their career and from their beginnings to their success in the 70s. And, of course, they lost Maurice and Andy, of course, have since died. And it's they interview the surviving brothers, and they show some great old clips. And they get their star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. This is 2 hours of Bee Gees goodness on Blu-ray. Bee Gees in Our Own Time.
All right, Mark, we're going to wrap out by talking about some Battlestar Galactica. And I know I've never been kind to the new Battlestar Galactica world, but I'm going to be a little bit, even now that it's been canceled, I got to say, I have watched a bit of Caprica. A little bit here on Caprica Season 1.5, which includes the 5 unaired episodes. Not that I ever knew that going in. And I have to say, this has more in common with the original, much maligned 1979 Battlestar Galactica than Battlestar Galactica, the reboot itself. And still not, I still have some issues with it, but I've warmed a little bit more to it. So Caprica, even though it's been canceled, season 1.5 on DVD with these unaired episodes, I would say worth at least a rental. And then we also have on Blu-ray the unrated extended edition of Battlestar Galactica Razor, which was kind of like the movie that they threw together after the thing got canceled, where they just couldn't let it go. It still doesn't really work for me, but this is the untold story of the Pegasus, which I much preferred on the original series when Lloyd Bridges was the commander of the Pegasus. That was swinging, man. That was really swinging. Lloyd Bridges, dude. Anyway,
that's Wade being a nerd.
Yeah, it's totally me nerding out, but absolutely. And then this is the one that the real fans are going to want to just go crazy for. Season 4 on Blu-ray, Battlestar Galactica, the reboot, with just an unwieldy amount of BD Live material here that you can access, including a battle card game, which is just even as nerded out as I am, assuming that I even liked this series as much as some people do. That would be going way too far. Way too far. Way too far. Extra features here, though. A lot of high-def stuff. Featurettes and kind of... They're sort of resigning themselves to the fact that this is they need some retrospective stuff here. So lots of kind of tying up the series, tying up the loose end stuff. And this even includes an unrated extended edition of Razor itself. So you don't necessarily have to go out and buy Razor separately. Anyway, that wraps it up. We are glad to be back. Happy New Year to everybody. It's going to be an exciting 2011. We've already seen a lot of new titles announced for this year. It is going to be a loaded year. Blu-ray, DVD, 3D Blu-ray, It's unbelievable. They're really trying to keep these formats alive and hoping that a lot of these changes reinvigorate the format. So we're going to be getting streaming and pay-per-view and pay to download and pay to Blu-ray and Blue to Pay-Ray. It's out of control. 2011 coming at you. Digigods.com.
2011 coming at you.
That's
By
it.
the way, coming at you was the name of a 3D movie.
Oh, well, there we go.
Remember that?
Perfect way to sign out.